Hello, I'm Richard Gentle and I'm based in the UK in the north of England. I was first introduced to Seth by a friend in 1987 and he photocopied me some samples of the nature of personal reality. Before this I spent about 9 years reading books on various faiths and spiritual teachers, mainly Indian and Tibetan, and actually, to be honest, mainly deceased. Throughout the 80s I attended several talks and workshops on subjects such as astral projection, reincarnation and healing, and later joined a group exploring metaphysics. However, until I'd started reading the Seth material, I hadn't really discovered anybody that authentic with such a breadth of knowledge, and I would say second to none anywhere. And, of course, largely unfiltered by human personal intervention and beliefs and cultural values, which I always felt was a slight problem with the other material that I read. In 1987, I actually began to write my own material, and my first piece was called How We Perform Negative Miracles, after I realized that so many things miraculous happen to us every day, we just don't notice them. And the reason it was called negative miracles is because the things that happen to us that we don't like or that upset us are often very miraculous manifestations. So the book's really about turning things around. I say book, originally it was a stapled booklet that was reduced on a photocopier, but in 2005 I republished it and added some illustrations. More books followed, and the most recent of these do include supporting quotes from Seth, because you may as well use the best quotes and sources that you can find, and I would always say that Seth met that. I live Seth in my daily life and have done really, certainly since around 2000, and I mean in a conscious way. Up till then I was always interested in Seth and I read the books and I looked at the quotes and I took it all in, but I wasn't really living it completely in my daily life. But now I do, and it really does help in so many ways. I always felt as well in my life that everybody, no matter who they are, has a piece of the puzzle, as I call it, no matter their position or their status. So it's always worth bearing that in mind, that it could be the cleaner or the caretaker or the road sweeper, or it could be the chief executive of a company. Everybody knows something that could be of value. And one of the things that I started to develop in my life was seeing the bigger picture. In 2000, I was invited to work in Belgium with a blue sky research company called Starlab. Now, Starlab um, was set up really to explore serendipity among its contributors, and it had a number of scientists from 72 different countries. And the idea was that if they all got together occasionally or shared information on their research, other things could happen. A few years later, in 2011, I decided to give a talk at a reunion for Starlab in Barcelona, and that became my book, Quantum Mass Superstructures, Creating the World You Experience, where I discuss really how we actually create the world, obviously from a personal perspective, but also how our collective reality and our nature of, I suppose, mass events, as Seth would say, also come into it. So that's basically me. I have lots of websites, and all my books and things can be found just by searching my name on the internet.